Hello, nice to have you with us on the show again. It is Conversations. And today, just before I tell you what we have to discuss, I'd like to remind me and, of course, tell you how it was for me first day in front of the camera. Yes. I've done all the rehearsal, all the tutoring, all the mentoring, all the examination, and every. And then that day, we used to call it continuity announcer. So I sat down. They said they opened with this is the Nigerian Television Authority channel ABCD and all of that. And then 5 minutes to go, I told myself something was wrong. My stomach was telling me story. I needed to get up. And my supervisor said, "No, you can. You can do it." I said, "No, I can't." And he said, "No, you can." I said, "No, I can't." And we're having that argument and the camera was on me. You're laughing at me, right?
It was live?
It was live.
Oh my God.
And then I had to do it. And then as I was doing it, my heart was bubbling. And then he told me, one thing you must know is you should build a lot around your self-confidence, self-esteem. You can. And whenever you decide to, you will always succeed. That brings me to the topic of today, self-esteem. Because from that day, I never gave up. I've been doing it and I'm still doing it and I'll still do it. I think even when I die, I'll be a presenter in heaven. All right, so ladies, your introductions.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Coach Didi and I'm pleased to be here.
Morning, everybody. My name is Devan Hamat, your mom, and it's good to be here.
My name is Joy Panachi. I always love to be here.
Mm-hmm. And there's a man who's been asking us, why is it all ladies? And I say, don't go there. What's your name?
It affects the woman's world. My name is Ezra Agai. It's my first time too. My stomach has bubbles on it. But I'm pleased to be here among these beautiful ladies.
If you feel too much of bubble, tell me. I'll let you know on the secrets.
Uh-huh.
And in the course of the discussion, we'll be exposing all of that. All right, I mentioned earlier that our topic today is self-esteem. And it's something that has led all of us to greater heights. It's something that has at one point or the other made us do the wrong thing. And it's something, if you look at it closely, is causing a lot of mishap, banditry, whatever it is in the society. But just before we leave, we get into the conversation deep time, let's look at this playlet.
You okay? You okay?
Jumoke,
Yes, Mama.
you are sleeping again. Just to read book for 2 hours, you are sleeping. Oh my God, what kind of child is this? What kind of child is this? So this time you want to become a lawyer
Sorry,
by
Mommy.
sleeping. Sorry for yourself. Sorry for yourself. So this time you want to become a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. You think your sister became a medical doctor by sleeping? Your brain is empty. It's empty brain. You are so dumb. Nothing is inside.
I didn't know.
Oh God, who did I offend? Oh, who did I offend?
Just take it easy. Take it easy on her.
I should take it easy.
Please.
Yeah, she's a child.
Please.
I should take it easy until she becomes rotten and spoilt.
No.
I should take it easy. Okay.
I'm not saying that. You want to? Oh, mommy.
Yes, Daddy.
What's the problem? What's the matter?
Nothing, Dad.
I thought I heard your mom call you there. Why didn't you answer?
I was sleepy. I didn't hear her calling me.
She wonders shall never end.
Mommy
You
asked
were
you.
sleeping.
No.
I'm disappointed in you. I am disappointed in you.
My dear.
You are the bad egg of this family.
Take it easy on her, please.
This is how you want to be spoiling her. Somebody that's supposed to read is sleeping.
We can't spoil her child.
Spoil her, let her get rotten. Then when she becomes a market woman, selling fish and promoting in the market, your eyes will be neat.
God forbid.
God forbid.
Oh, mommy,
God
Yes,
forbid.
Daddy.
you become great.
Yes,
You will
Daddy.
become a market woman. Yeah?
Yes.
You won't selfish, yeah?
Yes.
You can become whatever and whoever you wish to be.
Joe, I
You
think
are talking to our daughter. Eh? Don't you know you are breaking her? Please. Imagine someone else saying those same hurtful words to her. How would you feel?
I'm sorry, oh, sorry that I tried to correct you.
Don't you know you're only killing her self-esteem? Eh? Please try to encourage. I know you're only trying to encourage her, but please try to do it better. Eh? Okay. Keep working hard, eh?
Yes.
Keep reading, eh?
Yes.
You can become all you dream.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes,
You
Daddy.
can become all you wish.
Yeah.
Just keep working hard at it, eh?
Yes, Daddy. Okay, Daddy.
You make daddy proud, eh?
Yes, Daddy.
You make mommy proud too.
Yes.
Keep working hard, yeah?
Yes,
No
Daddy.
child of mine is done, eh?
Yes, Daddy.
Don't girl.
No, she's not. She's not. Continue, eh?
Yes, Daddy.
Easy. Easy.
Keep spoiling her now.
All right, little playlist put together by our winning team here, and a lot of message came off for me from there. The particular message, both the negative and the positive, is a lot of times people are failures because of over parental influence. Do I say over parental influence? You want to overprotect your child. Sometimes you're protecting the child, you're also confusing the child at the same time. I saw a bit of it there. Read. You don't even know if the person is having. The person I saw there should be a young girl in the teens and stuff like that. She could be having pubic problems, puberty and all of that. And she's not discussing it because she's sure the mother will say, is your excuse not to read. Please, did any of you have that experience going on?
Well, I'd say that for instance, I had a person of influence. I'm not going to say who this person of influence was. Was it a teacher? Was it a relative? I'm not going to say. But for me, for instance, I had a person of influence in my life who had access to me from about the age of 8 till about the age of 17. And on a daily basis, the smallest mistake, the slightest thing go wrong, you are useless. You'll never amount to anything in life. I heard this thing almost daily from this person from about the age of 8 till about the age of 17. And this would come, from basic things like, okay, you broke a plate, you did the dusting and you didn't do it properly, things like that. Because I grew up in a home where you had to do chores. So, and when you're small, you will make mistakes.
Definitely.
So, but
Sometimes intentional.
yeah. No, not intentional mistakes. Not intentional. A mistake can't be intentional.
happened.
That's if you want to be mischievous, that's different. But when I say mistake, I'm talking of a mistake. As a child, you're careless. Maybe you're rushing off to go and watch TV. You want to run off and go and play. So you don't really pay attention to detail. There are adults who cannot pay attention to detail. So when you put that much on a 7 or 8 year old and the child is not able to deliver that well, you should be able to say, you didn't do this properly. Did you notice this? Okay, do it again. That would suffice. So, I just know that back then children were seen and not heard. My generation, I didn't feel that I could report the person to anybody. I was afraid of how my parents would react.
Oh.
I was afraid of how my parents would react. So I didn't feel like I could tell them that this was going on. And then again, I felt like I deserved it because I felt this person was correcting me. I mean, I had friends who would get beaten to a pulp for the same thing. So I felt I was better off.
Okay.
But the problem was, I was a very sensitive child. So words would do almost as much damage as a beating. And I would internalize this stuff, think about it and everything. And because I struggled with my health, I was generally frailer than my peers.
So you had enough time to think.
Yeah, and then also because I was frail and small, I'd be bullied in school as well. Then I'd come home and this person would have access to me to poison my mind like this. And over time, this was before I even understood the principle of building yourself up. When this person would say this to me, I'd just say in my mind, no, I'm not going to be useless. I'm going to be somebody in life. And this thing you're saying is not true about me. And how did that happen? It's because growing up, I was lucky enough to have the kinds of parents that gave me access to very good books. I started reading children's versions of things like Charles Dickens, who are these great writers of back then?
Enid Blyton?
Enid Blyton, Famous Five, all these things. I read really good books. Secret Five, things like that. I read really good books that built my self-esteem up, kind of. But it was hard to use that to build myself up when in school I'd get bullied because of my small size and not being too strong. Then I'd come home and this person would have the time to do this thing to me. So it was a tough one. And I cannot say that I'm completely rid of that still small voice that keeps telling me I'm stupid, I'm useless, and I'll not amount to anything
That's
in
why
life.
we're here, because
You understand?
by the time we're done, that voice will die. What do you think?
For me, growing up, because I was a first child.
That's a
Deputy mother.
It was,
A lot of responsibility.
I was a first child and I was a woman. I was a girl. It was a tough one. It was really, really tough. There are some days I just go back and say, when I'm in bed, is this lady really my mother? And you understand? You always try to ask yourself certain questions. And it went on and on and on. And after leaving home, I now went to a military school that was terrible. The day I was dropped in school, I was literally, my father was going and I was running. And when he was going, he said, you will not die. You will, in life, in future, you will look back and tell me, this was good I did for you. But I didn't understand then. And in that military school, because I think I was a bit stubborn.
Have you stopped?
I was a bit stubborn because if it was not my way, it was no other way. And here I was in a school that it was mixed boys and girls, and it was a tough one. I was a third set, and I had other two. The first two sets were there. It was tough. When I say tough, it was tough.
Did you at any point lose your focus?
I did. Let me be very. You see, the thing is that when people tend to grow up, they tend to want to spice it. I had one problem in school. I was top heavy. For one student who was top heavy, with other people very slim, and you being top heavy, there was this notion growing up that if you were top heavy, you were a naughty child. So that thing messed up with my self-esteem.
Wow.
From Form 1 to Form 5, I wore jumpers.
Wow.
How I came out of it, I really didn't know. But I had to work on my self-esteem. And the good thing was that I now had parents who knew that I had a problem. And in life, they tutored me. And in the end, it has actually worked for me. I'm very happy we're talking about these things because stuff is happening. Things are happening. People are sick because so many people have just brought down their self-esteem. Most people want to kill themselves because of their self-esteem.
As you mentioned it now, I'll roll it back to Coach Didi. A lot of times when we talk about self-esteem, we look at it from, okay, it's a textbook thing. It's an ego thing, like he mentioned when he came in. Why are women bothered about ego? So I know from what you said, there are a lot of spillover of negativities that can actually come up you want to point out this, bad consequences of
Low self-esteem?
low self-esteem.
Well, you see, self-esteem basically is your sense of personal self-worth, your sense of value, your opinion about yourself. So naturally, if it is low, it affects everything, because your self-esteem affects your decision-making, the choices you make in your life. So in fact, many people think low self-esteem is a mental health issue. It's not. But it can lead to mental health issues, because most people who suffer from low self-esteem end up being stressed, lonely, suffer from anxiety, depression. Some go into even drugs because they have this need to like set it free, let it go. This feeling of being not enough, not good enough. And then, like you said, when you have someone in your life that also constantly makes you feel even less, it does affect this your mental health. It kind of goes hand in hand. When she was saying something about the childhood, and that's why, so many people, our childhood is crucial. It's really, really crucial. Our upbringing, the environment we grew up in. You were saying something about you when you went to school and how your mother treated you, and just you had someone else in your life. In my case, I'm from a broken home. My parents were divorced, so I had very low self-esteem, because I remember in school.
Like this?
Yes, I had low self-esteem.
I
had low self-esteem as a child. Because when you live in a society whereby you're already thought of as less, if you're from a broken home in northern Nigeria and being raised by a woman, you're less already.
Yeah, it's true.
You are already less, and then there are insinuations. They are told, and so you keep feeling I'm not good enough. So I always tried hard to do better. I was always trying to up myself, because it was like I was in a competition with someone, but it was just with myself. I kept on trying to prove I can do it. I can be the best in everything. I had to study harder. I had to be a better moral standing, a better character, because I didn't want it to be that she's like this simply because she's from a divorced home. She's like this because she was raised by a woman. So it's tough.
Okay.
It's tough.
Now, let's see from the men perspective.
From the men.
Yes.
Funnily, as they both spoke, I think is a theme that occurs in virtually every African home. Growing up, I myself have had issues. In fact, I say jokingly that I only forgave my mom about 10 years ago, because so my mom was the disciplinarian in the house. So like we'll go play, we'll come back, and then because she had this the cord from the radio, the old radios, the cord. So she'd take it out and then she'd beat us with the cord. I remember one particular incident where I went to play at our landlord's house, and then I played with the ball and it broke the fluorescent in the house.
You're done.
So I was just
you're
coming
still alive.
so you can relate.
Oh yes, okay.
So I just came out of the bathroom, and then of course the military drill started. And then
with the wet body.
With the wet body. So you can imagine how much that image stuck, in my head. And like she said, obviously it affects your relating with yourself, first of all, because it does something to you. You don't feel good enough. Things that ought to be normal for a child. Playing, forgetting things, just being silly. That's what a child should be. So those things affect you to that degree. It affects your relationship. It affects the output that you give to the world. It affects how you see yourself in general.
True.
Pablo, the psychologist, he talks a lot about motivation, reinforcement, and consequences, and of course the feedback. And I always want to draw my strength from there, because a lot of times parents are seemingly the cause of a lot of bad things going on today, whether or not we like it, or like whether we like it. Why I say so is we have refused to believe that all our children were not born in the same day. We have refused to believe that our fingers are not all equal, meaning that we all don't have the same strength. I have 3 girls, and I always describe them differently. The first one I call the mom. She has the potentials of being a mother, The second one I call the sissy. The third one I call the tomboy. They all have their personalities that makes me, give them those descriptions. So I don't expect that there is something the last one is not doing well, and then I now start comparing her with the first one. That's where you begin to make her feel less. Or the first one is committing a crime. You're now telling her, can't you see your sister? Your sister pass exam, get grade A. You pass, get grade D. For crying out loud, the best result is not always the best money earner. And at the end of the day, sometimes the people that are ruling us, are not even, you look at the specifications, they are not even asking them for master's degree. They are not asking them for BSc.
Yeah.
It's just for them to have the ordinary knowledge and the basic prerequisites to get in. So why do parents always, if you born a child today, the first thing they're asking, my doctor don't come, my lawyer, this one is going to be my this. What's wrong? Like I mentioned, I picked something from the playlist.
Yeah.
I was going to expunge it, but I said no because he needed to also pass a message.
Yeah.
The man was scolding, the mother was scolding. He said, do you want to become a fish seller? And I said, if you go to market to buy fish for your soup and you go there, suddenly there's no fish seller. Is that normal? Every single person is important. Every single profession is important. I wish parents can pick this up. And gone are the days where we think graduates are the ones ruling. They are not the ones running the show too.
No.
They are not.
They're not.
Because if you have a company as little as it is and you call it cleaner, errand girl,
Hand.
the cleaners, you know how much they earn?
I know.
In Abuja,
Yes.
they clean your house in 1 weekend, they
Yes.
collect 25K.
Yes.
And you know how many houses they'll clean Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
So in 1 weekend, they are making 100,000, 200,000. That's your salary for 2 months.
Yes.
A level 8 officer's salary is less than 70,000.
Things have changed.
Meanwhile, that person you call cleaner is earning that money in 1 weekend. I didn't say 1 week, 1 weekend. And then we don't want our children to become cleaners.
If I may come in based on something
I said.
Joy said.
Okay.
You said something about your parents noticing that, and then they stepped in.
Yes.
That's beautiful. My parents did the same for me, but particularly my dad. My dad noticed that I was physically frail.
Okay.
I mean, that stood out. It wasn't something you needed to notice. I was physically frail. I remember as a much younger child, I came home one day and there was this teacher that really hated me. Even as a child, you can tell. Because I was painfully shy. So you'd be asking me a question and I couldn't answer. I wasn't a dunce. I was just
afraid.
too frightened to open my mouth and say anything if I saw a crowd of strangers around me. And I wasn't shy at home, but at school, I'd look at everybody so I wouldn't be able to communicate. I wouldn't do well in class. So that woman hated me with her soul. And, she'd look for any excuse to, insult me and all these things. And I noticed. And so I guess one day I came home from school, I was so low. And my mom, a friend of hers, was around, Mrs. Yokia. Mrs. Phoebe Yokia. Mrs. Phoebe Yokia was, let's say she wasn't slender. Yes, she wasn't slender. So I remember I came home and she was the one, she went on and on and on until I now admitted that my teacher had been. And she wanted to know the woman's name. And she would come to school the following day and sit on her. And I was like, maybe I should have kept quiet. And I immediately played it down because she sounded like it was something she really not. I knew even as a child I knew she was just joking when she said she would sit on her. But I knew that she would probably come to school and give that woman a piece of her mind. And okay, now you come to school, you give this woman a piece of your mind, and you leave.
What next?
And I'm still in her charge. So even as a small child, I could reason that way, and I was like, no, it's really not that bad, and I really, really now downplayed it so that she wouldn't show up.
I know that.
But one thing my father was good at was, I think he also noticed that there was this person in the house that wasn't quite. So every opportunity my father got, he would tell me, listen, there is nothing you put your mind to that you cannot achieve. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, my mother was a nurse. She didn't like me getting involved in Children's Day, Girl Guide, and all of the, you'll get sick. And my dad would Go and do the thing. And my mom will be like, yes, when she gets sick, you will not be the one sitting down in hospital. You know, all these kinds of things. But I appreciate the fact that in his own way, he was always
Very
trying
important.
to build me up. And my dad was this kind of person whom, okay, like I recall when I first went to look for admission, I wanted mass communication. They gave me history. And I really wanted that thing to be changed. BSU that time, Pioneer set. And my father had a bit of clout in Makodi. So I came running home because I felt he could pick up the phone and talk to the VC and so. And that was a huge mistake because experience should have taught me by that time that my father doesn't solve problems that you can solve yourself. And the minute I was done talking, he was like, "Hey, you want to change your course? How do I come into the picture?"
Boom.
Yeah, I said,
Like
well, I need you.
Yeah.
He said, no,
Yeah.
this is a problem that you have the capacity to solve. Go to school and solve that problem.
Simple.
You know, it reminds me of
And my
something.
mom heard and she drove to the place and went to see the HOD Mascom who happened to be related to my dad and did it. And I told her, listen, don't worry. There's nothing he can do. He's the HOD Mascom. They pushed me to history. It's the history person I'm having an issue with right now. And the dean of the Faculty of Arts, Professor Akosu, who really thinks that because I got an A in history in GCE, I should go ahead and do history. And I was like, Prof, I don't, what will I do with history? I don't have the patience to teach. You people should put me in Mascom. Oh, Mascom is already full. We only wanted 25 people, we already have 27. I said I'm going to be the 28th. And I was.
That's it.
And I solved that problem myself.
Yourself. No, it's important to make your children, have that ability to solve their own
Problems
problem.
themselves.
I still go back to psychologists. Remember the experiment, if you follow it up with the rats, attempting in a hole to get something. Eventually, he was able to get it from constant, practice. And when he did, the joy inside the box was so much for him. If parents, you're not sort of talking your child down. If a child is reading and is not understanding, like we saw in the planets, find out what's the problem. Is it that the thing is too hard? I don't know a lot of things my children study, but I make efforts to carry the book. Sometimes I know I'm reading upside down because I don't understand anything. But when I look at it, I'll pretend as if I'm reading it. Then I'll now say, come, this one now, when they taught it, are you sure you understood it? The person say yes now. Or yeah, come and explain it to me. The person is talking. And if he starts using all the jargons that are related to those courses, I'm not a lawyer. And the lawyer is explaining. I'll cue off my mind. When he's done, I say, hey, you just run your mouth so that you look as if it's. But that person knows that I can pick up his book and ask questions. If I find it difficult, I remember when the first one was reading, I'll read, I'll get confused. I carry Google and start searching the words one by one so it can guide me to understand it. And then we begin to do those challenges. Once they know,
you're an educated parent. What of the parent who can Google?
See, there are some parents who are not educated, but they're smarter than you and I.
Oh, yes, true.
What they do is, one of them told me that when it's time for their children to read book, all of them will sit down around the kitchen table or wherever they sit, and that while the child is reading, she's busy, sitting. With time, she will doze off. And they say, Mommy, you committed a crime first. You slept first. She said, I've been selling since, so I'm tired. But I understood the point she was trying to make. Whatever your children are involved in, try to get involved in. So if you're involved in it, you encourage them further. Somebody once told me that I don't like that woman. She keeps calling me names. I said, what does she call you? This happened, I think 3 or 4 days ago. What does he call you? He said, each time he sees me, you call me Olodo. I said, and that's all. And you're angry. He said, yes. I said,
prove it. You are not.
When he tells you Olodo, he said, really? How did you know my name? That's the name they call me in our village. And I've been trying to make people call me that in the city. And the person will be like, you have a shock in your face. The person will say, Olodo in my place is a name for prince. Is a name they give to titled people.
Okay.
In your place, what does it mean, ma? Once you once you begin to react to it negatively, that name sticks. But the minute the person calls you Olodo, you say, me jeje, that person will.
You see, let me buttress what you just talked about. in Nigeria, being a plus size is depressing.
And it's a recent thing because
people
it's
just
it's a
open-
Western concept.
People just open their mouth.
Like it's wrong.
You're fat. You're big. You're this. You're,
You're not fat. You're blessed in the image of God.
but you see, the thing here is that it takes somebody who has self-confidence
Yeah.
to be able to brush it out. Because so everywhere you go, don't you think you should? Don't you think you should lose weight?
It's almost like a compliment now.
No,
No.
See you and they say,
No,
I mean, it's
see,
like a
you
form
see,
of greeting.
the thing that- yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah,
when,
fat, you know?
when we were younger, being heavy was associated with wealth.
Well,
That's a cultural
That's it.
thing.
No,
But
you know, I was
culturally,
watching it, my
being
mother
heavy
told
means
me
that you're in a good
that
place
you
in
know
your
what
life.
this way
Because
again.
of
I
what
said,
they're
why?
going to say
He said
about her
because they will
husband.
say that my son
That's
is
it.
not taking care of you.
but let me tell you now, this 21st century, before you go, it's even the way they look at you is depressing. So if they're looking at you and it's depressing, how do you feel? And I always tell people that you have to think of your self-worth. All of us cannot be slim.
Thank you.
If all of us are slim, the people who make clothes for the plus sizes, what
Maybe
do you
I'm
do?
okay.
But you see, the thing that I have noticed with the plus size women, because they don't have self-esteem, when it's time, when you go for weddings, because the very slim women, here is open, everywhere is open, then the plus size again, with all the excesses,
They open everywhere.
they now open everywhere. And I really don't talk about I really don't talk about those kind of issues, except you're my friend, who I can talk to you and you don't get offended. I will say, sisterly, calm down now. This all this extra thing is not meant to be exposed outside. Because and I noticed that even the very busty women tend to open everything up. And I just crack a joke. I said, let me tell you, the fun about it is about people imagining what's there. Don't give it to them.
Exactly. Go, girl.
And but what are their response? Oh no, they have to say it. If they don't say it, so even people who are mature, people who are older, they don't even have self-esteem for themselves. So it takes a lot. It takes, when you grow up, like, what do my parents tell me? You are wonderfully made. You are beautifully made. So that thing, it's at the back of my head. So when you come and meet me and say, you are fat, I say, it's your business. I'm beautiful. You that you're slim, you are sick. Because health-wise, you the slim person, you're sick. I the plus size, I'm healthy.
And you're actually not on a,
And
on a
but
very-
if I may chime in,
Yes.
chime in, because you brought weight into
Yeah.
this
No,
is
that's one big thing. Even children now.
Yeah.
Even those
no, hang on. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this because I'm bringing it from a perspective Joy may never have looked at.
Okay.
This is me,
Yeah.
fat.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Fattest you've been.
This is
Wow.
This is the fat version of me,
You.
and this happened after marriage.
So can you imagine?
And so I was
We should
stick
actually give
thin.
a round of applause to Mr. Mom.
Don't mind him, the person that is complaining that I've gained weight. I said, oh, no, wait, I said, oh, you want people to say you are suffering me in your house, huh? You don't know that. You don't know that for your wife to come to your house skinny and gain weight is a compliment to your husbanding skills.
Yes.
Anyway, I digress. Up to almost the age of 40,
Yeah.
I had to shop in big section of children clothes if I was going to wear ready-made. Yeah, you know collarbones are a big deal now with models and everything.
Yeah.
You could pour water and it would sit inside my
And you came
collarbones.
out-
I've worked
You came out
in
like this,
NTA
your
for long.
self-confidence is-
So I used to be
Unbelievable.
stick thin. From primary school, I was bullied because of that thinness. Just giving you the opposite.
I understand.
I was bullied from primary school for
went
being.
through
I was
hell.
skinny through primary school. I was skinny through secondary school. I
Secondary.
was skinny through university. I was skinny throughout my working career. I've been skinny all my life till I got married. So today, when I'm putting pictures on Facebook, I'm looking for the one where my cheeks are as if
my
I'm holding water in
God.
it because I'm finally fat.
Life is
You understand?
The man.
That's the irony of these things.
It's the men.
Yes.
It's the men that
It's
actually
the
cause this. It's the men.
No, the men don't even care. Men like women that have flesh.
not really, but some.
Exactly.
Well,
I think-
okay, Tom.
Well,
Okay, thank you very much. I'm happy to seize the floor on behalf of all men, and I hope I represent all of you well. Yeah, so I think for the men, I'd say it's the reverse. I think women put pressure
On
on
ourselves.
themselves because women don't really ask the man, what do you really want? I mean, forgive me, women, hair, for instance. Honestly, I think a lot of guys don't care about hair. Right?
that's what you think.
But I think a lot of guys, when the woman has a pretty face, I don't go check in. Is she wearing bone straight? No. That's why when you make your hair, when you make your hair, I don't remember to say, oh, this is a new hair,
Okay.
I have to be on my game to remember that. I think it's the same thing too with men like what they like. If a man likes, generally men like women who are, who have something they can hold, permit my use of language, right? So I see that a lot of men gravitate more towards plus size women, as you call them. Having said that, I just wanted to say something a bit about what she said. It's the self-esteem issue. This is what it has to come down to. If you're plus size, let it be because this is what you want to be. If you're slim or there's a condition, you have to be comfortable in that. And all self-esteem has to be intrinsic.
Sure.
Unfortunately, for our society, it's the reverse. So I wear a nice suit, I feel more confident. If I showed up in this studio in shorts, even if I had the greatest knowledge on the topic being discussed, it could do something to my self-esteem, So I think that it's not so much a matter of whether you're fat or slim. It's more a matter of your own self-acknowledgement, how you see yourself, how you appreciate yourself based on all the intrinsic values that you have over the external things.
I agree with you because that's the thing. You said something about whether men like plus size women, skinny women, and you said this is what I talk about. Really, it's not important what they like. Because it's all about you as a person. And I think that's where we get it wrong. External validation.
Yeah.
It's not about what the man wants. It's about what you think about
want.
yourself. What he wants is a plus.
Yes.
If you're oversized or you're plus size, be okay with it.
Yeah.
If you're not okay with it, do something about it.
Yeah.
That is as simple as that. Because it's basically yourself first. And that's why I'm big on affirmations. Positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And most of the time when I talk to men about self-esteem, it's basically, we use CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, to work with women who have low self-esteem issues. But basically it's you thinking about what you think about yourself.
Okay.
What do you say to yourself? You said something about the person when you were a child who was always constantly telling you, putting you down and how it affected you. And what we tell people is say something positive to yourself. I practice positive self-talk, and and for me it works almost every day. As I I look into the mirror and I say, oh, making her do a life. Now in English it means you are all put together. And I smile at myself and I repeat it again. And by you, babe, you are it.
Every day.
Yes, and I tell myself that, and I say, oh, you're doing amazing things. You're gonna have an amazing day. And when I tell myself that constantly, when I go out to work, of course, life is full of people, toxic people, negative people, as well as positive people. So when something toxicity comes to you, I repel it. Because I have made up my mind I'm gonna have a good day. So your negativity, stay there. So it's all about the mind. The mind believes whatever you tell it. If you bring value to yourself, if you believe you have self-worth, you don't believe. Believe me, and it may sound cocky. I don't believe I bring value to the table. I am the value table. I am the table. I'm the table.
No, but you see. Okay, look at one thing about self-esteem that I know that killed me when I was growing up. If I go to a party, nobody will talk to me. So I used to look at myself and say, "Is there a problem?" Because the lights are dim. And here was this dark-skinned woman.
Oh, tell me about
who nobody was attracted to. The only time they see me is when I smile.
Yes.
So they only see my dentition.
I know.
So I grew up saying, oh my God, why am I dark? And I kept growing up and sometimes you meet the opposite sex. Why I'm saying this, I just want to chip into what she said about It's about you, not about the other person.
Yeah.
And they'll come and meet me and say, oh my God, I like you. But have you thought of yourself being light-skinned?
Hey, thank God
And-
nobody ever said
And you know
that
the
to
funny
me.
thing?
There would have
He
been
used
a
to
problem.
he used to walk with my,
Yes,
and I'll
yes,
sit
thank
there
you.
and I was saying, but because I made sure that I'm a damn confident babe. And I used to say, okay, when I'm light skinned now and you're tired, another man will come and meet me and say, oh, if you were dark skinned, so how do I now switch?
In
my
fact,
skin?"
no,
I'm going to switch my
the person that will come
Yeah.
will say, hey, yeah, if only you hadn't bleached.
That's what I'm saying. And 80% of women in this country are bleaching.
Yes.
Just talk to them about James
No,
Bond.
you see what I like about this. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's going to come a time when ebony will be exotic.
Excuse me.
I walked into...
Melanie is popping.
No, seriously, I walked...
I don't want all this racism.
No. Sorry, yeah, you are not...
You are natural. I can see your knuckles. Everything is
Yeah.
red, so we know. That's your color.
I walked into a call center one day, and the darkest person sitting there, the darkest girl there was his color.
Okay.
And I was popping
That's it.
with my blackness. Because, like, anything that's common, right? Whatever is different from that thing stands out.
Yeah.
The only time my standout factor made me feel like killing myself, I had a friend, an Italian friend, invited me to an embassy dinner. I don't know what I was thinking. I turned up, and the darkest person was mixed race. I was the only Negro in the space who was dark skinned. The other Negroes were as dark as you.
Okay.
I wanted the ground to open up and swallow me. I felt like an alien. My kinky hair, and there's a way you'll be around.
You no longer be a person, you'll be an object.
If
of interest.
Liz stands
Yeah.
next to a white person,
Yeah.
you'll suddenly notice that she's dark.
Dark. Okay. I
So
get it.
99% of the room was white. Then there was 0.5% that were Liz
Okay.
black.
Yeah.
Then there was yours truly. That was ebony. That is like I spent 30 minutes in that place before I told the guy I needed to leave desperately. I felt like an alien. I couldn't talk to anybody. I felt like
That's one of the biggest self-esteem we have to talk about.
I
because
felt as if
children
everybody was
growing up
staring at me.
don't like being dark-skinned.
That was the only time.
but
That's
this
the
is-
only
but this
time
is-
in
but
my
this is-
life I felt like,
Yes, but
oh my God.
This is the problem. I think it's mostly.
I
in
thought
our
everybody
heads,
was
right?
staring at me.
Because it was also an opportunity. Now imagine a different scenario where you wore a white flowing dress and you walked into that setting all glammed up
and
and you
everybody
walked
wearing black.
majestically like a queen and you said hello to everybody and you just made light conversation. Because what it meant also was that you couldn't be ignored in that room.
I
Every-
was all glammed up and I still felt like dying. I
Because if you went to
thought everybody was staring at me.
That's your
Yeah,
mind.
I
The
think
mind-
it's
I'm
in
sure
the
it was
mind.
in my mind.
It's definitely a mindset
I thought
thing.
it was in my
Because
mind,
another
but I
person can
thought
walk
everybody
into
was
that
staring
room
at me.
and take ownership
Yes.
of that place.
I was going to give an example. If you went to, if you go to Turkey, for instance, right, there are certain places where they haven't seen black people
Yeah.
and they're in awe.
And they're excited.
Once you walk in there, a friend of mine went and they were calling her Beyonce because that's the only symbol of
That's
a black person that
Melanie
is.
Poppin.
And people are literally lining up to take pictures
Yeah.
because they had never, because
That's how
they
Peter
haven't seen
Cody
a
got in
black
the game.
person.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It was
So
a
there's
thing,
a
yeah.
I think that this self-esteem
Black
and it's
Panther.
really a
Yeah.
great topic because it goes deep for us black people,
Yeah.
starting from the slave trade era to talking about when we have, with our parents, and then not hearing affirmations for yourself, which is why, as coach said, this is the crux of the matter, that
Yeah.
for you
Talk.
it has to be about you.
Yeah.
That the self-esteem is something you cultivate personally as an individual, that growing up, even when you're in a setup with a lot of people,
We have to
you
talk
can
to our
also reach
children,
out
our
and
children.
take it.
Absolutely.
Then I wanted to say just lastly too that for me sometimes that self-esteem I have to wear it like the way women wear makeup. You know, that means on some days I don't
don't have
feel
it.
it. I don't have it.
I think it's natural.
I'm walking
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the studio, I don't have it.
Yes.
But I have to wear it like makeup because some days you're required to give a performance.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
All right, so some of our followers here are writing in. Somebody said, "I love your speech, sir. You're on point." He didn't write your name, I guess, because
He's the only man. No, but he's good.
No, he is.
He said, "I'm following your programs with my wife right now, and we're actually blessed. Kudos to NTA. Thank you very much." And another person here says, "How do we begin to build self-esteem in our children?" I think since this is a question,
Tutoring.
I'll take a pause and we get to answer that. I think the children case is a big deal because a lot of us lose it
Yeah.
if we don't get it right with our kid.
Yeah.
A little boy visited me not too long ago, and he's about 7, 8. Okay, today is actually his 8th birthday. I told him, I came in, I went for a walk, and I came in, he was already watching TV. I said, "I've told you in the morning when you wake up, do your, bedroom, do your teeth, do everything before you come. Now you're watching TV with your pajamas. It's wrong.
Wrong.
Go and bath." I was a bit stained. He got up, took his bath, came back. I said, "Now look at you, you're a fine boy. Because you just had your bath, look how fresh and clean and
does it
handsome
at
you're
home.
looking."
And
You know
it's
what that boy answered me?
Yeah.
"Mommy Lizzie, whether or not I bath, I'm a fine boy."
I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
You know, it told me a whole lot that the mother has done a
Because
lot of
work.
job on him.
Yes.
He has this self-confidence, But while we're building it in our children, we should also be
Make it
careful
more cocky.
not to make
Yeah.
them too
Over.
cocky.
Exactly.
Because they
Exactly.
could start having
Rude.
superiority complex.
It's a delicate
It's a
balancing
delicate-
act.
You have to balance it.
Yeah.
But I think, you see, as parents, that's why we have to be intentional about it. How often do we compliment our children?
Most
the
parents
are
feel
not-
if you
don't
compliment your head goes
But
well.
that's
sometimes
not
you
it.
know,
I don't do that.
That's like
You
she
have to
said.
compliment
I don't
your
believe
children.
in
You have to balance it. There are some kids, my dear, they are rude.
And now.
I
But
think
being
you
rude is
balance.
different from having a high self-esteem. People can have high self-esteem and
It's,
still be rude.
it's the thin
You
line.
understand?
Yeah,
The
it's
thin
a
line.
thin
But
line. That's
when
not
a
true.
child is rude, that's not on me. You see, and it boils down to you taking responsibility for your part. My part as a parent is to teach my child to value and honor herself or himself. And I start with telling them to appreciate who they are. What self-esteem means acknowledging your strength and your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So I tell
you
my
will
child,
know it.
these are your weaknesses. Acknowledge them. Do something about it. These are your
Like
strengths.
a boy can
Embrace
cry
them.
if
No,
you want to
but
cry.
but you see, like what she said, most parents want their children to be doctors. The child is not passing the science subject.
The greatest money making is
so-
ITO. Is
Yeah,
not
then you
doctor
must
anymore.
pass
no,
them to
it's
study.
now that is IT because it's 21st century. Then they never used to do.
Footballers
they
are
were not-
making more money.
No, how many parents wanted their kids to play football?
We still don't.
So you see, no, now it
Now
has
it's
changed.
changing.
My
It's
sweetheart, it has
I
changed.
did- Let me tell you,
It
can I
is
cut you short? I
changing.
remember when
Yeah.
my son was in school, when he was
Yeah,
finishing primary
it's
school,
changing.
and then all of them, they had this yearbook.
Yeah.
And then everyone was writing their future ambition. I was going through it smiling. This is me being real. And I saw this person. I want to be a doctor, engineer, or that. And then I saw my son, footballer. I swear, I'm going to choke.
That's it.
Choke.
You are just being.
I'm being real. My mind said, God forbid bad thing. So your mates are writing they want to be.
No.
I didn't tell you this, but I'm telling you that
Your
it
own
hurts.
is better.
No,
My daughter
She
is
says
better.
it hurts.
My
It
daughter
hurts.
Yeah.
Don't be footballer
professional
kid.
dancer. I
No,
think
no,
which
no,
house.
no.
But look at the money they're making now. Okay, let's.
No, they expect that professional dance or something no work for me. Have you seen the way they dance nowadays?
You see, let me tell you.
It's not
this
ballet.
is- how many percent? Look, this is us. We're talking. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. We should look. We should. You see, this is the thing. We have to balance it. This is what they want. You've done your own part.
Yeah.
So I can't stand it when parents want their kids to be who they were not.
Yeah, we
Because
all
you see,
do.
I there was a day I was watching the story of Files, and he told his father that he wanted to go into music. His father said, "And there's no problem. Just do this first
Law.
degree. Just do this law. Not even." And he was telling his son what he wanted the son to do because he was a lawyer. Parents have to get it right now because
But I
right
think-
now it's about any child I will have now. I will tell them to look for handcraft.
That is
Yes.
the way
There's
to go.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think parents just want
Because
structure.
they are not jobs.
Find how you will make money.
That's it.
You need
Find
to
you
make
can-
money.
So
Like I told my
self-esteem,
son,
this
Yeah.
you can find a balance. You can
Yeah.
still go,
You-
learn
all
to play
this we're
football
talking
and still
about,
go to school.
it helps our
Yeah, you
and our self.
you will make money, but you're not. I really don't care what you're going to do. You're not going to dance naked
How?
on TV.
No. How
or-
brilliant!
Yeah,
you
because
are.
nowadays when they say they're going to dance naked, have you
No,
seen
no.
these girls twerking in thongs? And that's what comes into my mind.
Okay, wait. Going to that. Let me quickly read anything. I love all of you and how you're talking, especially Devon Mom. I'm from Makodi. That's your sister.
Yeah.
And good morning to you guys. I love the topic, how you're responding to it. Thank you. Kudos to NTA. How do I build my self-esteem? I don't know when you wrote this. Okay, that's about 10 minutes ago. I hope we've been able to give you guideline on how to do that. My self-esteem is always low when I'm with my female friends. I feel I'm not in their class because they wear because the way they dress. Okay, okay. Let's see. Let me take
big
one or
one,
two more
too.
because there's no time. I'm from Akwa Ibom. I'm Coach Udwak. I really enjoy your program. Thank you. That's your colleague. I am enjoying your program so much and it's helping me keep it up. We didn't write where you're. Okay, lack of self-esteem in our midst here in Africa and Nigeria is due to one simple thing that is lacking in our educational system, 99% of education. And with this, I'm going to wrap up. And I'll still tell you a story I actually shared with you. A man who wrote JAMB and WAEC for almost 9 times in Nigeria, and they wrote him off. At the moment, he is a Nigerian, he is in America, and he's the best neurosurgeon. Meanwhile, they never gave him a chance.
Yeah.
So I think we should see the difference in ourselves. Just 1 second, parting word. 1 second.
For the lady that was talking about how to build self-esteem, I think the first thing you should do is have a positive mindset, practice gratitude, and also self-care.
All right?
Always remember to say something good about yourself to yourself every day.
Yeah. Write down every quality that you have, whether intelligent, beautiful, write it down and affirm it to yourself every day.
What do I say? Just love yourself and ignore other people's opinion about you.
That's the way to
That's
go.
the way to
And finally, I'll say, if you haven't learned anything today, just know that you're the best thing that happened to Mother Earth. And I tell people, I don't know how old I am, but I just know one thing. I am sweet 16. I grow 16 every year, and that's because I want to look good and young. And I believe in it. I also tell myself the truth. My bones may not be 16 years old, so I also work hard. So be the best you want to be. Design your life and live it. I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Beautiful.